Hey how, ladies and gentlemen of the regiment. Today we have a completely different video. It seems I've been on a roll talking about videos that are completely outside of my wheelhouse. Last week it was 40k, this week it's going to be the old world. Yeah, we're talking about the old world. The one system, the one kind of setting I said that I would probably never ever actually go back to. Unless Grand CATHAY released. And by God, GW released Grand CATHAY, and it is glorious. I'm going to go through the trailer and going to talk about a few things that they talked about in the review and ask a few questions because there's a few things that I've caught on the trailer that I don't think a lot of people have actually caught on. So, yeah, let's go and dive right into this. All right, first up, we see this beautiful picture of the emblems of the Dragon Children and the Dragon Emperor himself. Of course, the Dragon Emperor is front and center. We got Ildan, the Fire Dragon, on the far right. We got Yambo, the Jade Dragon, on the far left. And then we got on the bottom, we got Yao Ming and Zhao Ming. Now, interestingly enough, there seems to be one missing, or rather a couple missing. We do know that there is the Dragon of Light, who is currently MIA. She's running around the Chaos Waste doing something. We find her in Warhammer 3, so we can confirm that she is still living and breathing. She isn't corrupted. And we just still don't know what the hell she's doing up there. And there seems to be missing another one called Yin. She was a dragon charged with the Grand Cathay fleets, and famously she got the treasure fleets kind of wrecked when she went on this big expedition. So I'm not sure why we don't actually see her banner here, and I'm not sure why we don't really see the Dragon Empress as well. You think they would have both, the Dragon Emperor and Dragon Empress, but maybe just for like aesthetics reasons, we only see the Dragon Emperor. But the fact that we're missing at least Yin Yin, because you think Yin Yin would be included, because she should still be alive during this time. And then the Dragon of Hope isn't here. There is two other dragons that are confirmed dead and technically missing. One is the Dragon of Death, who kind of does things with the Cathayan underworld. She's kind of like the guardian of the underworld. She's been dead for a while though, so like we understand why we don't see her banner. And there is a potential dragon that might have been corrupted by chaos that no one really likes to talk about. That's also shrouded in mystery too. Hopefully in the Arcane Journal that's going to come out, we can get more history on what exactly happened to him or her, or, you know, this mythical dragon that no one likes to talk about. And the next kind of like major thing on I guess the lore side when it comes to the preview that was narrated by Mao Ying was, I believe this is actually the first look of the Dragon Emperor himself in the human form. And we're going to touch back on this guy because he kind of ties something together. But as you can see, he has the gold armor. He's wearing red as well. Chinese emperors normally wear, I believe they're the only ones that were allowed to wear red, or the royal family allowed to wear red, so it makes sense that he actually has a more of red kind of cloak. Although Ildan also is red for fire, so like I'm pretty sure they threw that out of the window. But the golden armor is a dead giveaway that he is in fact the emperor. And of course, we also see kind of like an amber gem on the forehead. All the dragons kind of have like a gem near the forehead. So I'm guessing amber is his kind of color. And next up, when it comes, now Ying keeps on talking, and then we see what I believe to be the actual Dragon Emperor himself in his dragon form. And I base this on the fact that his scales are gold, which none of the other dragons have golden scales. And if you look at the top right there, you see that he has an amber gem on his forehead, which means that it would correspond to his human form, having that, you know, amber. And then the next dragon we see, I see some people say that this was supposed to be Mao Ying. This isn't Mao Ying. This, I firmly believe, is in fact the Dragon Empress when she is in her dragon form. Now, the Dragon Empress wasn't originally a dragon. She's actually a shapeshifter from the moon. Welcome to the old world. This is how crazy the lore gets. We've got shape-shifting aliens from the moon pretending to be dragons. I love it. And as you can see on her forehead, she has a almost like a purple gem. Now, Mao Yin also has a purple gem on her forehead. However, her gem is encrusted with like a metal piece around it. So I don't think this is actually her. And also, Mao Yin doesn't have all these damn spikes on the back of her mane and everything else like that, and also the ones on the snout on the upper part. So I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be the Dragon Empress, which that's actually pretty cool that we actually get like a first look at what she looks like. And of course, later on in the episode, in the narration, we do actually see a bigger picture of the Dragon Emperor sitting on what we believe to be the Dragon Throne. I actually expected the Dragon Throne to be a little more ornate. It still looks cool, don't get me wrong. Looks like a cool looking throne. I'd love to sit on it. But, yeah, it's him sitting on his throne. There's not much to say. It's just a really cool look that we actually see, what the throne looks like. Of course, in the back, we have the Terracotta Sentinels. Now, of course, legend has it that the Terracotta Sentinels were made by the Dragon Emperor himself thousands of years ago to fight chaos, and they're still kind of kicking around. So that's kind of cool that like his, I guess his main invention is also on his throne, or his greatest invention. We will get to the Terracotta Sentinels much later though, and those guys look so goddamn cool. But bear with me. Alright, so now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of the Grand Cathay army itself. Now, it is very much different from what we see from Warhammer 3. And I will bring up kind of images from Warhammer 3 and a video from Warhammer 3 to kind of do a compare and contrast. The first thing is this army seems to be more of an elite army. The mainstay unit is going to be the Jade Warriors and Jade Lancers. So it doesn't actually look like they're going to have any of the peasant archers or peasant spearmen, which is kind of interesting because I actually assumed that they were going to be made into plastic. That's not the case. And before I forget, speaking of plastic, every single model I am going to talk about is all plastic. No fucking resin. We are not dealing with resin. We're not dealing with forge-rolled crap resin. It is all plastic. Thank God. Or rather, sorry, we don't thank gods in Grand Cathay. We thank the Dragon Emperor. So thank you, Dragon Emperor and Empress, for blessing us with plastic. So, Elite Army, Jade Warriors, let's talk about them. As we can see, we can have the Jade Warriors, or it looks like there's also a Halberd unit that we can also make out of them. I'm assuming the Halberd unit is going to be more armor piercing, and then the Jade Warriors are going to be more of a defensive control kind of unit. It does come, now what's really interesting with the Jade Warriors is they come with both male and female faces. So you can make them all male, all female, or a mixed unit, which is very similar to Warhammer 3, where there would be male and female callouts for the Jade Warriors and most of Cathay units. But it's really cool that fact that we can basically have an all-Amazonian army of Cathay. Rule 30 for our artists, just hold on for a moment. Just please hold on. Now, when it comes to the rules of the Jade Warriors, they did let it kind of leak that when the Jade Warriors are standing still, so after the charge, or like next turn after the charge, they can reroll any ones that they rolled when they are making their saves. So that is actually pretty interesting. I'm not sure if they have a ward save or what's going on with there, but if you roll a bad one when it comes to save, you can reroll again. And that just comes stock standard. So it's pretty, it's okay. It's okay. It's not like, yeah. I mean, I'd rather take it than leave it, but it's what it is, right? All right, next thing we're going to talk about is the Jade Lancers, the Calvary. These Calvary guys look so goddamn cool. Just look at the paint job that they've done. Just phenomenal. It looks like when they do the charge attack, they use both ranks to charge because they have the big spears. So instead of hitting 5 units, you're hitting with 10, which is a big, massive, alpha strike. And it looks like they also said another rule about moving through units. Now, I am not really caught up with the ins and outs of the Oldworld rule setting completely. I know bits and pieces of it. Again, I'm an Age of Sigmar player, but I have played Oldworld in Warhammer Fantasy when it was called in the past. So they did mention that there is a attack through movement. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work. So there is a movement that they can do. I'm not exactly sure how it works. So just for, sake. Okay, now we're going to talk about the artillery. Now this is really cool, and I wish this was in Warhammer 3. So when you buy the battalion or the cannon kind of set itself, you can make it either as a grand cannon, or you can make it as a rocket battery. The rocket battery apparently has different ammo, which is really goddamn neat. I wish we had this in Warhammer 3, because it looks like there is anti-large ammo or rockets, and it looks like there's just normal rockets for widespread destruction. It would have been so cool if we had this in Warhammer 3. I'm saying this, man. There is an Ogre upgrade, as you can see the Ogre up there. Apparently the Ogre can make the cannon move faster because he literally carries the cannon with him. He can also protect the cannon, so if someone gets into melee, God help you if someone gets in melee with the cannons, he's there to kind of protect it. But what's more interesting is once per game, it can fire twice in one turn, which potentially can be very goddamn powerful. So that's pretty cool. Again, the Ogre is an upgrade. He does come with the kit. However, I guess when you're looking at points wise, you can take him or leave him. It doesn't automatically. You don't automatically have the Ogre with the kit itself. So I think that's pretty cool. Also, the Ogre looks fantastic. New model Ogre is always great because the model Ogres that we have right now just is they're just old. They're just really goddamn old. Even the Age of Sigmar Ogres are still using the old Warhammer Fantasy Ogres. It's just they need a refresh, just in general, and it doesn't matter which system, Age of Sigmar or Oldworld, just refresh them. Before I forget, the cannon though, they did say that it does have a staggering shot. So when it fires at a unit, units around that unit or around the cannon impact do move slower. So that is a thing to be aware of. All right, now we're talking about the Sky Lantern. The Sky Lantern, Warhammer 3 is almost completely useless. It is something that I hate. I never recruit it. And the Magistrate, the fact that I have a DLC, I never recruit the Magistrate because his last mount is the Sky Lantern, and he just becomes utterly useless. It's just really low damage, and it's just crap. He acts like a pinata. However, in Oldworld, it actually seems to be rather useful. So they did say that this Sky Lantern is the tallest miniature in Oldworld because it comes on a floating base, and then it has the lantern itself, which looks absolutely massive. So that's kind of cool, and probably is going to be a pain to transport. It's probably going to be a pain to transport. You're probably going to have to move the actual base, and that's logistics is going to be not too good. So it can have the Magistrate, so you can have the Sky Lantern by itself, or it can be a mount for the Magistrate. It does have the artillery can use it for line of sight, which I'm not sure how the artillery, again, haven't really brushed up fully on my Old World rules, but apparently when it comes to artillery, they can use the line of sight of the Lantern to fire, which is something you don't really have to worry about in Warhammer 3, but it's kind of cool that it's a thing in Old World, because it makes it that much useful. It also does shoot and drop bombs. So very similar like in Warhammer 3. I hope it's a lot more useful. Next, we're going to talk about the Sentinels, and these guys look massive. Like goddamn, these guys look great. They do come in different kind of varieties, which now. This is kind of interesting because when it comes to the reveal trailer, they said red earth, granite, obsidian, and warpstone. So that's at least 4 different varieties of Terracotta Sentinels you can kind of pick. Now, unfortunately, in Warhammer 3, you can only pick one, which is a bit of a shame. Don't get me wrong, I love the Terracotta Sentinels in Warhammer 3. I think they're cool. I make Doomstack armies with them all the time. Absolutely love them. But the fact that we have almost a variety of at least 4, as they talked about, 3 to 4, potentially even 5. I think that's cool. I think that's really goddamn cool. So the base, which I'm assuming is going to be red earth, is base regen, so they're going to have regeneration. The granite is going to be the more the defensive one, so it has a better armor save. And the warpstone sentinel is going to debuff enemies, which I think that's really cool that there's a warpstone sentinel. Now they didn't say anything about obsidian, which is interesting because they did name drop obsidian, but they didn't say the effects of what obsidian could be. So that kind of tells me that there is probably more stones, potentially might be more stones, and potentially, you know, different effects. I think that's pretty cool. Next thing we're going to talk about is the Sugargun Lords on the Logma, the absolutely flying dragon horse creature. Now, the Sugargun Lords, of course, are half dragon, half human. The dragons do have sex. They have sex a lot. Apparently, Zhao Min is actually a half-decent father. And Yao Min, apparently, if she could just number her children, because unless you do something interesting or good, she doesn't give a shit about you. So, parenting. Now, fun fact about the Llama, they were actually revealed before the reveal trailer. We actually got a very first look at the Llama. And they was spoiled by none other than Bad Dragon, because their newest dildo is in fact the llama dildo. See, I was actually going to make a joke about Dragon Pussy and Yao Ming, but then when it went to Bad Dragon, I saw this, and now I know what one of their dicks look like. I wish I didn't. Moving on. So we're going to talk about the Sorcerer before. Luckily, I'm not monetized, so I can't be demonetized, but I can be suppressed. Talking about suppression, the Sorcerer can either be a hero or a lord, which is kind of interesting, and it can start as a level 1 wizard, and you can buff them up to all the way a level 4 wizard. So that's pretty interesting. The model looks great, by the way. Just absolutely fantastic, and whoever painted that was so good. It's a running theme about how great the models look, which is why I assume that the Age of Sigmar team kind of helped out, because the Age of Sigmar production team has knocked it out of the park every time. Like Scaventide onwards, fantastic models. While if you look at like 40K, they have been rather lackluster, if I'm being completely honest. All right. Moving on, we're going to talk about the next hero/lord, which is the Gate Master. We've seen this again in Warhammer 3. Same with the Shogun Lord. It looks like it's just a regular bog standard fighting lord hero. It is what it is. But apparently 2 of them come in a box. So that's interesting. You can actually make 2 of them. It's a 2-for-1 pack. So, you know, instead of buying, you know, 1 lord for like $50 Canadian, you can get 2, which is, yay. Thank you, GW. Thank you for blessing us with more models. Now, when it comes to the units, last but not least, when it comes to units, we have, of course, Mao Ying. Now, she is right now the only Dragon Lord that has been revealed. And my God, look at her. She is absolutely beautiful and breathtaking. And you know what? I was kind of hoping this would be the case. Not the beautiful and breathtaking part. That was actually, you know, a given. But the fact that you get her in the human form and her amazing dragon form, it just looks fantastic. Now, I wanted that to be the case ever since I seen Marathi Kane in Age of Sigmar, because she actually has a similar thing where she's 2 units at the same time. I'm not sure how it's going to play out with the old world, if the human can transform into the dragon, or you have to take just the human or just the dragon. We're going to see how that plays out. Even if you can only take the human or the dragon, it still looks so goddamn cool. Like, look at her human model. Look at her dragon model. Oh, God, it's so good. However, so she is also a MILF. As I said before, she has many, many children. So, certified MILF. Stamp that. Based. Okay? Also, it seems to be there's no Dragon Guard units, because one of her special abilities is she promotes units around her to her special Dragon Guard. So when it comes to the Actually, I just realized I actually mixed up Dragon Guard and Celestial Guard. Never mind. Scratch that. Just scratch that. She can promote units around her to her Dragon Guard. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know why. I got like... when I was writing everything down, I got Celestial Guard and Dragon Guard mixed up. My apologies. And of course, last but not least, we do have the Arcane Journal that comes out. This is going to be like the proper faction book. It's going to go over the history of Grand Cathay. They said that it's going to focus a little bit more on Nangal, with the northern area, with the Bastion, which of course, you know, if the centerpiece model is going to be Mao Yin, that makes sense. Going comes with the rules, new magic, because of course there's a yin yang magic, new items, new whatever. It's everything you want about Grand Cathay in a book. I'm going to buy it. I just want to read it. I'll be honest, I just want to read it for the lore. And yeah, you know what? That's kind of it. I just want to talk about the old world and this Grand Cathay army because I want to build this army. I know I'm not going to play Old World. Mostly because when I went to the spring sale a few weeks back at my friend in the local game store, I saw 3 fully painted Old World armies people were trying to sell. So I think Old World is a bit of a dead system in my neighborhood, which is it is what it is. It's again, it's like Age of Sigmar and 40k. In fact, there's a lot of Age of Sigmar players in my area, which is great. But it looks like Old World, it just didn't catch on, unfortunately. But you know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to be a whale. Or rather, I'm going to be a simp for Mao Yin once again. I am going to go and buy the battalion box at the very least. Probably one of those Terracotta Sentinels because they look cool. And of course, Mao Yin herself because she looks fantastic. God damn, she looks good. So good. This video is already needlessly sexual, so I'm not going to continue with that. So yeah, look forward to me buying a Hanfu, getting fitting into a Hanfu, and if I can actually play the Old World at my local area, I will dress up as a Cathayan officer, and by the mandate of heaven, I will lead the forces of Grand Cathay to victory. So yeah, that's actually my goal for the year, is actually to, because I've been working out for the last month and a half, and I'm going to continue to work out because one, I enjoy being healthy. It's fantastic. And 2, I actually do want to slim down so I can fit into a Hanfu, which normally is in, you know, more Asian size, and I'm more of a bit more of a beefy North American ogre, as one might say. And yeah, no, I just want to LARP as like, because I love Three Kingdoms. I'm going to LARP as a Grand Cathay officer. I'm going to show those orc players how to properly LARP, okay? Running around and speaking a bad Cockney accent and yelling WOG isn't going to cut it anymore. I'm going to raise the standard. And I'm also probably going to learn Chinese so I can insult them in Chinese. And, you know, say things in Chinese. Anyways, I'm just rambling at this point. I'm just so happy about this. Look forward in the future. I'm probably going to do more painting streams when Grand Cathay drops. So we're definitely going to be opening up. I'm going to show you what's everything inside, show it how it's assembled, and get most of that painted, just like I did with the Elder Stormcast and all the other models, and like, you know, and the Sisters of Battle I did last December, or the December that just happened. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for this rambling video. Thank you for watching. Always remember, Panzervor, and we'll just have a quick word from the sponsors of the regiment, and a thank you to the subscribers of the regiment. So, I'll see you later. Goodbye for now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank the sponsors of the channel, and the sponsors are the men and women who have joined the regiment and subscribed. Thank you all very much. Those men and women are Brinton Colbin, DS, Cold Hitter, Galaxy Nano, Guardsman Miku, Quinn Gillis, Volley, Dylan Whipley, W, Killme, Juan Pablo, Liz Q, Pasnik, Josh Russell, Temp, Panzer LH, Loonwit K07, Profile, Chris Hess, The Vito, 1999, Celtic Drago, David Sibilian, M50 Ontos, Drex, Thomas Novik, Nick, Salt 30, Pro 711, Horenz, Rodriguez, Alfonso, Paul Tarongi, Cascaster, Stu Daddy, Conan, Vernon Duprez, Colbin Winningham, Zephart, Angel of Hell C, Timothy of Failures Rangers, Slotchin 31820, Mithranda Grandieri 5872, Codex Zells Bubbles, Otto von Bismarck, Joanne Castrol, Dale Nobick, Lee WH for the Emperor, ATC, Kurt Nispel 2, Aroki Samagatha, Bako Dozo, Jamie Gonclaves, 930, Smotown, C1 Tank, SSSB, Sir Jellybean, David St. Laurent, Birder 69, Brock Shepard, John Aswell, Nightlord, AI, Prez Von Gotten, David, Ben Man Vibin, Now EA Mallow, Michael Siben, Jason Walton, Wick 0998, Lotus Cavius, The Mercenary, Goon Fabulous, Peter, Zach Malin, Mitten Kolbangu, Double Domino, Space Squirrel 0, Nightmeal Fuel 619, Just Irregular, Pile of Snow, Mark, Phoenix, Aracella, Wilco Darolf, Bar Old Bagans, Ilt Dashkov 1079, Alan Jones, Trench 1918, Federal Bra, Ritz 470, Hammond Hader, Ellipson 660, Pancho, Sebastnai, Kuronoko, B Games, Make Alliances 1945 YouTube, Patrick McMarkin, Pogo Weeb, Walmir 696 and the 224 unknown soldiers who have joined the regiment. Thank you all very much. God damn, there is a lot of guys and women, guys and girls who have joined the regiment. Thank you all very much. Man, that list is... It takes a while for me to go through this list now. So, you know what? Thank you for that. And hope you enjoyed the episode. And remember, Panzer IV.